You got starters over there?
And
All right. All right, let me go get some starters here.
now, we're gonna, wait, whoa, hold on, wait. He wants to start. We're on. Yeah, we're on. Good morning, Ira.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Apparently, we have started day 2, and nobody told us. We just automatically appear
Good
on your
thing
TV
that,
screen.
we knew what time to get here and when to be here, and we're ready to go. Your camera ready? Let's do this.
I mean, I was going to go take a walk and try to find out who's playing today, but since we are live and, just suddenly appear on your TV screen, good morning, live from San Bernardino, California for day 2 of the 2022 National Volleyball Association's first event of this season. I'm Ira Thor, joined alongside two-time All-American Matt Prosser. He once had 16 blocks in the Mats in college. And today we're going to bring you the second day. It's the Seattle Sasquatch, brand new team. And, of course, they are, along with the Colorado Kraken, the 2 expansion teams in the NVA this year. And they'll take on the newly rebranded New Jersey Freedom, no longer known as Team Freedom. This is their first appearance of the 2022 season. And, of course, well, they didn't play yesterday because in this year's schedule alignment, you only play once twice out of every 3 days on the opening day of the tournaments. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, and we just suddenly appear on your screen just like it's magic, let's talk about today's match. And we were walking over to take a look at the starting lineups for today, but for Seattle, a strong debut yesterday where obviously they were not expected to be competitive with the OC Stunners, but took the Stunners to 4. Very nearly could have gone 5. They had set point in the 4th set, losing 27-25. And they got a great debut from Silva Peterson, who had 23 kills and had a 62% rate.
Yeah, credit to the Sasquatch for their first match in the NVA. They really came out of the gates nicely. A bit of a question mark. Nobody really knew what to expect from this club and what their personnel was like, but really playing a good brand of volleyball. Excited to see what they can do today after they get that first match jitters sort of, out of their system. But, yeah, Silva did a great job offensively. Also, Gallahan and Bailey, 2 of the bigger hitters. And also Sam Cole really did a nice job for Sasquatch as well. However, they will have their hands full. Team Freedom, the New Jersey Freedom, as you said, rebranded. 2 of the largest hitters, the tallest hitters in the NVA, and Paul Bolonzik, the tallest man in the NBA, the 7-foot middle blocker, and also Joe Norman, the 6'10 opposite hitter. So that'll pose a new challenge for Sasquatch that they didn't see yesterday. Although the New Jersey Freedom are a little thin on their roster, missing a couple of key players due to some other responsibilities this weekend, but should be a good match here this morning.
Well, we're going to see if we can go to a break here and get the starting lineups for you for this one. Then we'll come back with a more traditional introduction to the match today here. It's the Seattle Sasquatch and the New Jersey Freedom. We are live at the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino. We'll take a break and be back in a few minutes. You're watching NVA Volleyball. All right, we are back live here at courtside as we get ready for our opening match of the morning. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. First, for the New Jersey Freedom, which we see now for the first time, coached today by team owner Justin Beaumont, as head coach Carlo Edra is not available. We'll tell you more about that in a moment as the match continues. Ryan Kenny will be at setter, number 1. In the middle will be number 2, Matt Buffum, and Thomas Burrell out of Division III Power Stevens, wearing number 18. Libero will be number 5, Ryan Alou, out of St. Francis University in Pennsylvania. Ian Kapp will be one of the outside hitters, number 4, and Tim Ferreter. Also on the outside, on your right side, is Big Joe Norman, number 16. For the Seattle Sasquatch, Jeffrey McDonald at setter. He wears number 1. Libero is number 4, Damian Higashi. On the right side will be Cody McCracken. Sounds like he should be playing for Colorado, but he plays for the Sasquatch. He wears number 6. Peter Silva wears number 7. He's one outside, joined by Colton Bailey, number 16. And your two middles will be Sam Cole, number 9, and Patrick Gallahan, number 10. Seattle is coached by Jared Walters.
So we're seeing the same lineup for Seattle Sasquatch as we saw yesterday. Throughout the match, I'd expect to see a couple of little wrinkles thrown in and some good substitutions, as they do have a full squad of players. We saw them do that yesterday a little bit, some interchangeability there between personnel.
Well, Ryan Kenny gets us starting. And we get off the ground here with a kill by Sam Cole, the middle blocker out of Chicago, Illinois.
A middle blocker slash opposite outside hitter. He's sort of playing every position on the floor other than setter. Getting that first kill from the right side there.
And that's going to be just wide. You saw Alou slide at the last second to avoid being touched. Very Nick England-like, by the way.
Good celebration from Sasquatch, although the ball was called out of bounds. We're going to see a challenge here.
That didn't take very long.
Not very often do you see a challenge at potentially 2-0 or 1 serving 1 in a match, first set, but nonetheless,
I mean, if
coach
you really feel strongly about it, and you only got 3 to use during the day, I think if you win your challenge, you get to keep it.
This is true. That's a good point. However, so early in the match, I maybe try to hold off until maybe something a little bit more later in the set.
It's a little unorthodox, I would say, but also is, starting the broadcast and
it's
not realizing we started the broadcast.
It's called on the fly, Ira,
That's how we roll here.
Be fluid. Okay, I like water. Just work through it around the rocks.
And they won the challenge. So, hey, what do we know?
A great call by the coach. Use that challenge early, get the point back, and back to action here.
Well, that goes down as an ace for Sam Cole.
So it's 2 serving 0. Sasquatch with the advantage.
And back-to-back aces. This one won't be challenged. Cole has responsible for all 3 points this morning, the first kill. And a pair of aces, the power of the stash.
Basically, it's Sam Cole against the entire New Jersey Freedom team right now.
He is not a believer in freedom. Going to go to Joe Norman, and he misses cross court. Of course, this is a Freedom squad that is missing a bunch of pieces from last year. Matt Seifert, of course, is probably the biggest name. Chris Vaughn, who is playing in an AVP event this weekend, so he's not available. Chris Nugent, who may be back later this season, but he underwent surgery recently as Norman gets the kill. So those are some big pieces. Then, of course, you have the Freedom and the Untouchables really changing their looks this year. Players that were formerly on the Freedom now playing for the Untouchables. Some players who were on the Untouchables now on the Freedom roster. Really interesting how those two roster makeups have evolved. After the kill by Norman. That nearly hit Norman on top of the head. And that one will miss wide. for Freedom by Ferreter.
Well, no touch called by either line's judge. A little bit of an unorthodox blocking technique by Joe Norman on that one as he pulled his hands down, but did almost nearly get it off the top of the head.
I mean, he's 6'9", 6'10". His head nearly reaches the tape, just standing flat on the ground. And speaking of height, not even in this match right now, he's the tallest player in the entire NVA, and Paul Bolanczyk, the 7-footer. It's the only player on the bench right now, and that will fall in for an ace.
Matt Buffum with the jump float serve for Freedom's first ace of the day.
Buffum out of Chesterfield, Missouri, played collegiately at one of the better D3 programs, Elmira College. Another jump float, and that one will have to be pulled back by the Sasquatch. Nearly back-to-back aces. And that one sails into the net. Credit the kill to Tom Burrell. So 5-4 Sasquatch with the early lead. Freedom, after being down 4-0, have scored 4 to last 5, but this one sails wide. So we mentioned Justin Beaumont coaching the Freedom today, and the reason that he has stepped into the spot is Carlo Edra, who is the typical everyday head coach for Freedom, as that is too long. Well, he's also his day job. He's a collegiate head coach at New Jersey City University, which is the university where I work full-time. And they're playing today at 3 p.m. Eastern in Long Island against St. Joseph's College, trying to repeat as Skyline Conference champions, try to punch a ticket to the NCAA tournament. So we wish them good luck. NJCU Gothic Knights and Coach Carlo Edra. Kenny with the tight set here to Burrell, who puts it away.
Nice quick in transition there by Freedom. Good pass results in an opportunity to set Burrell through the middle, and that's back-to-back kills for Thomas Burrell.
So we'll see Joe Norman, who was 5th in the NVA last year in the best scorer statistical rankings, averaging 4.34 points per set. Down the line with authority, Cody McCracken.
Yeah, first time we've said McCracken's name today. The big lefty going down the line for that kill. Out of the back row, too.
Kraken out of Port Angeles, Washington, but he played his collegiate ball on the other coast, actually right outside of Buffalo, Wells College in upstate New York. And that's a response from Tim Ferreter.
A new name for New Jersey Freedom is Tim Ferreter, outside hitter.
So Ferreter will drop back to serve. And that's going to have to be run down again. Tough serving from the Freedom early on. Have forced the Sasquatch back on their heels. They go down the line. And there's that man, Ian Cap, who was so important to the Untouchables last year, playing both setter and outside hitter, was probably their best all-around player.
We did say Ian Cap's name a lot in the 2021 season, and one of their biggest and best outside hitters for New Jersey Freedom.
That is left short by Ferreter. Ian Cap played his collegiate volleyball at King University in New Jersey. And here's Patrick Gallahan out of Silver Spring, Maryland. Norman swinging away. That's dug up by Silva. And that is blocked just wide. Kenny was looking to set her one-on-one for his stuff, but couldn't keep it on the court. And that's left short by Cap.
Well, Cap really kind of got stuck on that one, not right in his window, but got to make a better, smarter swing than just blasting it into the net. Roll it back to the corner. Give your team a chance on block and defense.
Over onto sneaky Ryan Kenny.
Ryan Kenny catching the Sasquatch block and defense. Still sort of sleeping on that one. Don't see the two-handed set over on two very often, but that one effective.
If you got it in your tool chest, why not use it? As Buff, for correction, Burrell serves and he gets the ace. Thomas Burrell, 6'3" middle blocker, certainly undersized in this league at 6'3", but such a great athlete, and he ties it at 10. And that is put down the line for the kill for Sam Cole.
Sam Cole with a nice swing, challenging the line defense. Blockers not getting all the way to the pin. And Sam that alley to hit down, and Joe Norman couldn't come up with that dig.
Here is Jeffrey McDonald. Kenny goes in the middle, and a big dig by Higashi to keep it alive. Second chance here for Freedom. They go to Joe Norman, and he got blocked by Sam Cole.
Cole really carrying a big load right now for the Sasquatch, scoring points. That's a nice block on Joe Norman. So Sam Cole really contributing nicely here in this morning match.
Cole gave up 4 inches to Norman, 6'5" versus 6'9". They go to Cap, who is able to tool the block off the court.
Ian Cap challenging the block, blasting it high and deep off the blocker's hands. It goes all through the inline and out of bounds.
Here's Ryan Kenny. Played collegiately club-wise, but didn't play for an NCAA team. Back set to Norman. That is blocked back. Kenny, and he works with the libero to stick it to Norman again. Back set by Alou, and the Sasquatch do cover. Fourth chance for Seattle. Alou laying out for the dig. And that one will ultimately fall in. Ian Cap, one of our younger players in the league, had to will that one through.
Best rally of the match so far there, Ira, and Ryan Alou able to go with the off-speed shot to get it to fall.
Ryan Kenny, who will be 30 years old this summer, on the serve, but the attack on the right side, Sam Cole able to use the high hands.
So far, it's been the Sam Cole show for the Seattle Sasquatch. We'll see if he can maintain this effort level throughout this match. Freedom trying to find an answer for him.
That one clips off one of the net supports, and that's a big break for the Freedom, but Norman couldn't connect. So here's Sam Cole out of St. Xavier University. Chicago, Illinois is where he calls home. Carries Norman off the court, and then just a free ball by Ferreter. Chance for Seattle to run something that was way outside the antenna, and Silva didn't have much of a chance to operate. And then Norman is blocked in the middle by Colton Bailey.
Colton Bailey getting his first block of the match there against the 6'10" opposite. That is Joe Norman, so a nice block for the Sasquatch that time.
This is the one rotation where Norman hits out of the outside. That clips the net. Ferreter with the pass. Cap finds the court. And Sasquatch were into the net anyway as Cap connects the kill. We will reach our, well, we will not reach a technical timeout because the point was awarded to New Jersey rather than Seattle. So it's 15-13 Sasquatch. Once we reach 16, we have our technical timeout. Here is Ian Cap. He graduated King University ranking second in NCAA Division III history in career service aces. And that is wide as New Jersey draws closer. Cap led the King University Cougars to a pair of NCAA Division III tournament appearances, including the national quarterfinals in 2018. And was a multiple-time All-American, 3 times, in fact, an All-American in Division III. And that is stuck through for the kill by McCracken. And now we reach our first immediate timeout of set number 1, Seattle, 16-14. Watching Seattle Sasquatch. Good morning.
OSIM.
Back here courtside at the Pierce Sports Center, San Bernardino, California. Ira Thor joined alongside Matt Prosser. This is day 2 of our first event of the 2022 season. Substitution for Seattle. Coming in to serve here will be Benjamin Harmon, 6'2", native of Nooksack, Washington, one of the older players in the league. He will be 36 years old this summer. Jeffrey McDonald, the setter, by the way, he's 41. Born in December 1980. He and Russell Holmes are probably the 2 most seasoned players in the league. And there you get a triple block. Norman leading that triple block. And, of course, also in there was Ferreter and Burrell.
That's one of the best blocks I've seen so far this morning in this match, Ira, for New Jersey Freedom. A nice 3-man block and shoulder to shoulder. Shutting down that Sasquatch attack there.
And Silva has not had a kill yet. So after having a 23 kill performance yesterday in his debut, that's 2 in a row.
Wow, that time was all Joe Norman getting his hands way over the net for a huge stuff down on Silva. Silva trying to navigate his way around Joe Norman, but we'll get a Sasquatch timeout here to talk it over.
17-16 to Freedom for the first time have the lead. They were down by as many as 4 2 different times, and Seattle head coach Jared Walters wants to have a conversation. Of course, these teams are divisional opponents, and that's the way this season is going to at least have the first and fourth events, as it'll be only divisional matches the first and fifth weekends. This is a National Coastal Division matchup. You have the National and the American conferences, and then 2 divisions within each. Of course, the other National Coastal franchise, the OC Stunners, the defending 2021 NVA champions. Free ball, everybody wants it, and I think it was eventually Burrell who got it. He and Ferreter both went up for the gift.
Well, credit to Matt Buffin with that nice jump float serve that resulted in that overpass, so don't forget about him back there, Ira.
So Buffin, 6'7". Nice serve. Again, Seattle has to play out of system. And that finally sneaks through for Silva, his first kill of the day.
Ferreter, the third man coming over on that three-man block, just not getting his hands over the net, and Silva is able to rattle it through.
And if you're Silva, not giving up on your game after getting stuffed back-to-back, important for Seattle for him to get going if they have any opportunity to be competitive today.
Well, he's just waiting for that coffee to kick in, probably, and get the engine going.
Well, New Jersey got off to a very slow start. Obviously, maybe you attribute that to the East Coast, West Coast time difference.
Yeah, most of them did get in last evening. Some travel.
Reach out and stuff someone. Burrell and Kenny. The third block in the last 5 points. And here is Norman. And there were some travel difficulties for some of our East Coast teams. Freedom and the Chicago Untouchables most notable. They go outside to Silva, and he's able to tool the block this time.
Now Silva going up against Ian Kenny. And that time, Silva being able to go off of Ryan Kenny's block. So advantage Sasquatch, and here is Silva's jump serve now.
Good pass by Alou. Allows him to go to Ferreter. And this will be free balled over. Chance to run something quickly. They go to Ferreter instead. And tipped over, and it will fall in by an alert Tim Ferreter. The attack by Cole was able to trickle off the net and to kind of take that bounce right into his wheelhouse.
Well, credit to Ferreter being in the right spot at the right time. A little fortuitous bounce off the block that time. Ferreter able to get that ball down for the kill.
Ferreter will serve. He was the most valuable player of the NCAA championship in 2015 at SUNY New Paltz. As the Hawks won their first national title. He eventually transferred to Stevens in Hoboken, New Jersey. Multiple-time D3 All-American. Free ball chance for Seattle. That's blocked back, though. Ryan Kenny, right place. And then missed wide by Cole. And it's 21-19. They're going to challenge it. Challenge whether there was a touch.
So it's a challenge off the block, block touch before it went out of bounds.
So that is, of course, one of the 5 things you can challenge, a touch of any type. And we'll take a look. And that's obviously now a pivotal point in this match because it's a difference between 21-19 and 2020. And you look back earlier in the set that the first challenge won by Jared Walters. Actually, we were questioning, why you challenge at 2-0. This is actually why, because had he not won that challenge, this would be maybe potentially a 22-18 type game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It did come back around and help. They did get that ace earlier on from that first challenge, so he kept it, and now it gives him the opportunity to use it here since he does start the match with 3 challenges.
Hey, at the end of the day, you got to trust your gut. Trust your players as well if they're convinced something was touched. This is why we have replay, something that was newly instituted this year in the NVA. And I think ultimately, especially as the bugs get ironed out a little bit and they get faster with it, this is going to be a great innovation for the league, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see video check and the challenge system utilized in a lot of other professional leagues around the world, even in NCAA Division I men's volleyball as well. So it's the future of the game. It's where it's going. And like we said yesterday, you got to get the call right. Leaves no room for argument from either team, no debating. You see the video. We have the video official up there that's trying to clarify it, and then we'll get the call correct and moved on.
And something that they've added this morning that they didn't have yesterday is we actually have a projector courtside, so the players are able to watch what the replay official upstairs is watching. All the different angles they do have at their disposal to try to get this call right, and this is good for the sport. Well, we'll take a break as they get this ironed out. We'll be back for more here in California. Hey, we're not taking a break after all. Look at that. You know, it's a nice surprise when we just suddenly appear on your TV screen. I was going to get a drink, but I can't do that if America's watching.
No.
Me, 'cause I might be a sloppy drinker. They don't need
Well,
to see
you are, as we all know. But, yep, Saturday morning here, San Bernardino, California. Waiting on this challenge call verification. It looks like the radio call's coming back in, so we should get a verdict here and get back to action. So,
And Freedom wins the challenge. And the side out goes to New Jersey, and that makes it 20-19.
well, that was a long challenge, and New Jersey Freedom winning that point, so no touch off the block. Now 3 points away from winning set number 1, so let's see if Burrell can score a quick point here for his side.
Burrell unleashes an ace. Thomas Burrell, who played for the Untouchables last year, one of the most notable additions to this roster, along with Paul Bolonzik and Ian Kapp. And this Freedom squad not going to make it easy in the Coastal Division for the Stunners if they want to at least repeat. What's notable this year, of course, is the way that the playoffs are set up. Each of the 4 divisions, as you would expect, each division winner does qualify for the playoffs. And then, of the remaining 4 teams in each conference, the top 2, regardless of division, top 2 overall teams will then be your quote-unquote wild card teams. I don't think we're technically using that term, but I think most sports fans understand the wild card term. In the middle, put away, Matt Buffum. And Team Freedom takes game number 1, 25-20. They bounce back from a 4-0 deficit to take our opening set. Back for more here in San Bernardino. Game number 2, we'll see if the Seattle Sasquatch are able to draw even when we return. Back here at the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino. Ira Thor joined alongside Matt Prosser. Nick England will join you for match number 2 when I go take a nap.
What do you mean? You get to nap?
Yeah, I did.
I thought I got it at match 2. What are you talking about?
I'm the older person. I'm the grizzled veteran on this crew. And
this is true.
You know, if I'm going to suddenly appear on your TV screen, I can't do it with bags under my eyes. Actually, I think I'm going to go explore downtown San Bernardino, see if I get myself in a little trouble.
Didn't know there was a downtown San Bernardino.
I don't know if there is, but if there is, I'm going to find it. Well, at least go to a Starbucks. There's got to be a Starbucks in San Bernardino. Got to be one.
There is.
It's America. They're everywhere.
It's a quarter mile away. So
oh, you already scouted out for me. I don't even have to do the work.
Just ask Ira, and I can help.
This is why you have a partner, folks, so you can not have to search Google Maps for Starbucks. Your partner just tells you where it is. Starbucks, by the way, if you're watching and you want to be an official partner of the NVA, this is your opportunity. Set number 2 underway here is Jeffrey McDonald, the setter for the Sasquatch, on the first serve. And swinging away for the kill to open us up, Sam Cole, who had a good start in game number 1. And Cole is the team leader in kills right now. In fact, he hit at a 57% rate, hit 4 of the 9 kills for Seattle. They only had 9 in game 1. Started off strong and then fizzled late.
9 kills in a game is not something that is very conducive to winning a set here in a race to 25. So hopefully they can tighten up their offense a little bit here in set number 2.
Here's Ryan Kenny, who has ambitions of joining us in the broadcast booth potentially in the future. Big swing, and Ferreter able to dig up Cole. That's blocked back and will go over on 1. Seattle runs that one down, and here's Kenny digging it off the net. Joe Norman. That one will ping pong off the stealing, and way to stay with it was Higashi to Libera. Norman again, and this time McDonald unable to get the touch.
Well, big dig there from Ferreter to keep that ball in play. And second swing in transition by Joe Norman results in a point. So nice work by the team in white.
Nearly another ace. McDonald able to save it, but this one too long by Cole. There you see Silva, he and the Seattle Sasquatch right now find themselves just in a world of inconsistency, and that's what's hurting them. Better pass by Silva. They go outside to McCracken. Ferreter tries to run it down, and he will, and Kenny will just free ball it over to allow everyone to reset. They go back to McCracken, and the second swing does the trick.
Well, for the Sasquatch, they really got to get some other players activated. It's just been the Sam Cole show so far, like we talked about. Offensively, Cody McCracken getting involved a little bit, but really they need Silva to come in and produce some points on the outside. They also have no back row attacking, which is really making the block and defense for the Freedom side a lot easier.
Kenny with the bump set to Ferreter, who puts it through. Tim Ferreter with a useful spot. And Freedom with a 4-2 lead here early in set 2. We'll see what Ian Cap's able to produce. And Cap, that one's not coming back. Ace for Freedom.
Big jump serve for Ian Cap, strongest server on the court right now for either team. That jump serve, he got a couple aces in game number 1 and starting off set number 2 here in the same fashion.
Well, Cap didn't play every event last year, but if he had, he would have been most likely in the rankings for the best server in the entire NVA. It's certainly his strong suit, and he's able to not only contribute offensively, if they're in a bind, he can set as well and not miss a beat.
Credit to our line judge for that dodge right there as that ball nearly hit him, but he's awake and ready to go.
Actually, now that I look it up, Cap was actually second in the NBA last year in total aces with 15. He was well behind Brandon Rattray, who was the league leader at 28. But Cap even in a part-time role last year with 15 aces.
Good production from the inline by Ian Cap.
Hand the ball here to Matt Buffum. Better pass for Seattle. Kennedy has to dive to dig that over. Another chance here for the Sasquatch. McCracken, reach out and stuff someone. Ferreter, and it was also Burrell who had the big hands in there that really kind of closed off the fence. Jeez Louise.
Ira, we had perfect view of that. That was all Ferreter getting his hands high and up and over for that stuff down.
Absolutely sensational block. That time, a triple block was set up, and as they run the Bick, it allows Cole to just slide it to the right.
Well, for the blocking defense of New Jersey Freedom, they have to pay attention to where number 9 in green is, Sam Cole, because right now he's the only offense that the Sasquatch can really offer up.
So here's Cody McCracken, and he leaves it short. 8-4, Seattle finds themselves in a hole here. Joe Norman try to add to this Freedom lead. They lead 1-0. Freedom took game 1 25-20. And this will fall in. Miscommunication there between McCracken and Sam Cole after the desperation back set by McDonald. And Team Freedom adds to its lead. You know, you didn't really know what to make of Seattle. Brand new franchise. No one on this roster, as that is left short, with any NVA experience. And well, yesterday, maybe it was partially the unknown, but they took the OC Stunners and really battle tested them all the way nearly to a 5th set.
Yeah, you see kind of a tale of two teams here as Sasquatch just really haven't found their stride here this morning. Offensively speaking, they were playing a little bit better yesterday, maybe emotionally more invested, a little more excited, but really just off to a slow start. Haven't quite, found that rhythm and excitement that they had yesterday on offense.
And maybe it was them being a little amped up, being their first ever match at this level. But certainly have not looked anywhere near that level of capability today, as that is left short, and the lead expands to 11-5, and Seattle has no choice but to call timeout. Jared Walters calling time. Now, if you're Seattle, it's about finding that rhythm, and there's nobody right now who seems to be that guy. Yesterday it was Silva, great performance with 23 kills, but then there was no scouting report on these guys yesterday. You look at the Seattle roster and the names that, other than Matt West, who played at Pepperdine and is not here this weekend, going down the line for names that have experience at a high level. And a lot of these guys are kind of getting their feet wet this weekend.
It's their first run, their first go-around, obviously, not at full strength. However, this is an opportunity to make a name for yourself and what you can do and what you can bring to your team and how you can help them, win some sets, try to steal a match here and there, although right now it's, heavily in favor of New Jersey Freedom. But Sasquatch, again, just trying to find their stride, get that rhythm, get some connections built, run some offense through the middle.
Reach out and stuff someone. This time it was Burrell leading the charge.
Yeah, nice middle attack right on cue. However, Burrell there waiting and able to get a good read, and Gallahan just a little bit too tight to the net on that one.
And Freedom just keeps adding to its war chest. Fair to big serve. Silva pushes outside, looking for his partner Cole, but Freedom was waiting for it. And that clips off the ceiling, and a big break for the Sasquatch. The high bump set, and it just caught that antenna that it's probably maybe 30 feet over the court that holds the net support. And it's hard to even see that it's there, so I understand where that mishap happened. And this is a rare ball handling error.
The lift call on the overhand serve reception was just a little bit too low. Ian Cat taking that one kind of down by his shoulders and kind of came to rest there for a second.
I think that's the first time I've seen that called here in the 2 years I've been doing the NVA. Tom Burrell gets the kill there.
Burrell doing a nice job, working hard to get up and open in offense. Ryan Kenny able to feed the ball to him through the quick for that point.
So Burrell will serve his team up. And another big stuff for New Jersey. Ryan Kenny teaming with Matt Buffum. And the lead swells to 14-7.
Freedom just in control. Sasquatch down by a few too many here, but an overcall that time on Buffum.
Good aggressive play for Buffum, but he interfered with the Sasquatch, so we'll get called for the over. We'll hand the ball to Jeffrey McDonald, who mentioned earlier. Not their only option at center, but he is quarterbacking the team this weekend, and of course, alongside Russell Holmes, probably among the few players in the NVA who are still playing at their age 40.
Well, I did mention to New Jersey Freedom if they needed an extra player, I'd be happy to put the uniform on because we all know that you're good enough here in the broadcast booth to go solo.
I'd love to see you play.
It's been a little while since I played indoors, so I said only in dire situations do you need me to put on a jersey, but my point is that I would raise that, oldest aged player by a few years if I was able to step on the court once again. But no one really wants to see that, so I'll just stay
I really want to see that. I wanted to see Nick England play really badly, and we got our wish yesterday. And that's an ace for Seattle by Cole. Nick England yesterday was the talk of the town.
San Bernardino could not stop talking about Nick England.
And he helped lead his team to a reverse sweep. They were down 2-0 as they came back to win 3-2.
Tune in tomorrow, Sunday, for what looks to be another match played by the Ramblers and Nick England.
That's a misfire over the set was over the head of Buffum. He could barely even get a finger on it, couldn't keep it on the court.
So a little lull here from New Jersey, giving up a couple of points behind Sam Cole serving once again, who's done a nice job producing points for his team from the end line.
It's 15-11 now. Seattle able to cut what was a 7-point lead down to 4. That one sails long. I think tomorrow you'll be doing the Nick match solo, as I will be on a flight back to New Jersey. So that's the final match of tomorrow's action. Stay with us today. Of course, this is the first of 4 broadcasts. As that serve goes into the net. Our schedule for day number 2 after this one concludes. Our 12 p.m. match will be the Tornadoes and the Kraken. Nick England, Matt Prosser will be on the call for that one as I nap out in the parking lot. I'll rejoin you at 3 p.m. for the Chicago Untouchables against the LA Blaze. And then our 6 p.m. match will be the newly rebranded Inner Empire Matadors against Southern Exposure, who they very easily could have won yesterday.
They could, yes. They do look very dangerous, and the Inland Empire Matadors will definitely have their hands full in that one.
I actually kind of like that rebrand, the Inland Empire. It's something that, unless you're from this part of the country, I don't think you realize the difference between, the Inland Empire, this part of the state, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, and the coast. So some folks may not, as Burrell left that short, but it came right back to Norman, who puts it away.
Talk about a good heads-up play by New Jersey that time. Unorthodox for sure, but effective.
But to finish the thought, for those who are outside of this part of the country geographically, they may not understand that difference. So I think, though, for the Matadors, they were the Ontario Matadors last year to rebrand as the Inland Empire.
Yeah, and we're just
a good move.
We're just east of downtown Los Angeles by about 60 miles. So this part of Southern California, the Inland Empire is what it's commonly referred to, as opposed to sort of the LA area or coastal Southern California. So Ontario is the Inland Empire. It's one of the neighboring towns here, cities in the Inland Empire. But Inland Empire kind of encompassing this whole sort of area: San Bernardino, Redlands, Ontario, this sort of all the way out to Palm Springs area and the desert region of California.
And it gets very hot, even in April, as we've learned, as Joe Norman puts away another kill. It's 103 degrees on Thursday when we arrived. It was close to 100 yesterday. I understand we'll get back to more April-like weather tomorrow when it'll be closer to 80. I could deal with 80.
Yeah?
I like 80.
Yeah. It's a dry heat. It's not humid like what you get in New Jersey.
I don't like 103, though.
It was hot yesterday.
It was quite warm. They had to eventually turn the air conditioning on. They weren't expecting that. Substitution here for Seattle. They brought in Ramon Jackson, number 14, and he immediately pays dividends, landing the kill. Jackson is from Charlotte, North Carolina. He'll be 30 years old later this month. Peterson Silva out of Nova Era, Brazil. Served by Higashi, I should say by Higashi, and then stuffed down. Ferreter teaming with Tom Burrell. And the lead grows to 2014.
Ferreter doing a great job on his blocking technique. Really sealing nicely when he's on the wing there. Getting his second big block of this set.
Ferreter, again, the most valuable player of the 2015 NCAA tournament. He was a multiple-time first-team All-American in D3. And using the high hands for the kill, Ian Cap.
That's a great swing by Ian Cap there, going high off the fingertips, down the line, challenging the block. Don't lower your arm and try to bounce it underneath the hands. Go high hands off the blocker and get it out of bounds for the point.
Cap with the serve, or Ferreter, I should say, with the serve after the kill by Cap. That one's going to fall in no man's land for the Seattle kill.
Well, that ball has to get picked up by Joe Norman. Well, it's a long way down for the 6'10" opposite to hit the floor, but sell out for it. Take yourself out of the play. Keep the ball up. That was a nice deflection by the blockers. The ball's got to get picked up by somebody in the back row.
Tony Glessner, the head coach for the Southern Exposure, is in the crowd, and he smiled at that one. He's not even scouting. He's just out here supporting. He doesn't play any of these teams this weekend. Good serve by Burrell. Run the back row, Silva too long. And that swells the lead to 23-15. And Freedom well on their way to a 2-0 lead in this match. Back set, that will fall in on the kill by Ramon Jackson. So he's come in and quickly become an important part offensively. We'll have a double substitution. McDonald will come back in, also will McCracken.
Seattle reversing that double substitution that we saw. So they've had their setter through the back row consistently now.
Clips the tape. Cap with the big swing. Ping pongs off of the HVAC system up on the roof. Ferreter digs it. That's blocked back after the attack by Cap. And that will find its way over. Here's Ferreter keeping it alive. They go to Joe Norman, but Seattle with another dig. Fifth chance for the Sasquatch is too long. Well, Team Freedom did enough to force Seattle to make its own mistakes.
Yeah, good volleyball being played by both teams there in that rally. Seattle finally trying to finding their stride, but just having a hard time getting the ball past the block cleanly and in of New Jersey Freedom.
So this is set point number 1. Ryan Kenny leaves it short. So 24-17 now It'll be set point number 2. Sam Cole will try to extend this game. Cole, you see the healthy mustache. And an ace. It's all about the stash.
Sam Cole's been dangerous from the inline today for Seattle. That's probably his 4th service ace, maybe his 5th in this match, just 2 sets into it here. Sort of the lone bright spot for the Sasquatch so far.
This is set point number 3. And back-to-back aces as he takes advantage of Ryan Alou in the back.
Doubling down on the back-to-back service aces from Sam Cole. Good strength and power, nice high toss, really going after it and attacking it.
He's going to find himself early in the season in the NVA aces leaders. He's been able to roll. And it ends here after a 3-point run for the Sasquatch. New Jersey Freedom winning game 2 25-19. And they lead today's opening match of day 2 of the NVA 2-0. We'll take a break, come back for game number 3 here in San Bernardino. Freedom on top.
So go to them and they'll toss to me. Okay, well, good morning. I'm Noah Chast, and we were talking about the Freedom, how they had some kind of airline issues. They were in some layovers and some canceled flights, and they were actually watching this NVA broadcast while they were in their different layovers in the airports. And so that can explain their slow start in that first set, but clearly they picked things up as we went along. And in terms of this team and the players they're missing, I mean, Chris Nugent, Matt Seifert, some Jake Milnazik guy, I don't know him, but this team is very comfortable with the players they have on the floor. A lot of them played together with the Untouchables, and they're just very confident in who they are and the players they can be and the skills they can bring to this event. Matt, Ira, get it started.
Thanks, Noah. And the reason he can make fun of Milnazik is they played club together, I believe, back in the day. So nice when the talent knows the players. Also nice when the talent just suddenly appears on your screen out of nowhere. It's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Right? You got to be on your toes, too, at home watching.
You never know when one of us is just suddenly going to appear in your, well, not in your living room, because that would probably be reason to call the cops, but on your TV screen.
Wherever you may be tuning in.
Why is Ira Thor and Matt Prosser literally in our living room? How did this happen?
It's a package deal today, Ira. NVA volleyball, you, me, Noah. I mean, what else could you ask for on a Saturday
got
morning?
some Tostitos and some Coors Lights? We'll be right over. I don't feel like Coors Light. Unless they want to sponsor the NVA, then I love them. All right, we're back here for game number 3. New Jersey Freedom leading 2-0. They are only hitting at a 45% rate today. It's typically a number you'd like to see in the 55 range, but Seattle, they're still only 16 kills through 2 games, hitting 33%, and have done nothing to help their own cause. I thought that was a carry. Referees let them play on, and they do finally make the call, so point number 1 goes to Seattle. Officials for this match are lead official is Dennis Franceschini. Tony Chan's our R2. Justin Baker, Arena Smith are on the lines. And Justin Beaumont is going to challenge the call. Or is he not going to challenge the call? Is he just bringing over the challenge card to Seattle? Yeah, they forgot their challenge card. He's not challenging it. Justin Beaumont faking us all out here.
Some comedy relief after that lift call. Not challengeable, for the record.
That is going to come our way. Big kill in the middle as bombs are dropped by Buffum. Sam Cole's got 7 kills to lead the Sasquatch. Ian Cap hitting at a 58% clip, has 7 along with a couple of aces to lead Team Freedom. By the way, Joe Norman was 6 kills, but he's only hitting 38%. He's typically at a much higher pace. Kenny able to do something with a tough pass. And the Sasquatch will free ball this over. Another chance for New Jersey. Put away. Tim Ferreter with authority.
Well, again, Seattle moving their pieces around. Sam Cole is into the middle. Now with McCracken and Silva in the front row. Interesting to see how that's going to play out throughout this set.
Here's Buffum to serve. Hands of Norman slow that down. That's where it helps to have another setter on your roster. And Joe Norman bombs it down the line. Ian Cap's ability to handle the ball as that off-setter, such a weapon.
Very much so. And last year, talking to Ian Cap, he was playing a lot of beach volleyball, a lot of grass volleyball, so developing that hand setting was very important to him.
You, of course, know quite a bit about beach volleyball, former winner on the AVP tour. Fortunately for Matt, his success came in the first iteration of the AVP, where obviously they had financial difficulties. And fortunately, have come back and are now strong again, but
well, there's been quite a few iterations of the AVP Tour. It's changed ownership hands several times, and part of the development of the sport as it continues to grow, hopefully, with sort of the influx of collegiate women's beach volleyball and the number of girls youth volleyball players on the beach specifically.
That's a great point.
Will hopefully allow for more opportunities in the future for the growth of professional beach volleyball in the United States.
With beach volleyball becoming a NCAA championship sport maybe about 6-7 years ago, I want to say, it's a great point by you that if anything is going to strengthen the sport in the country, it's once it becomes an official NCAA sport and you get more and more buy-in from collegiate athletes around the country, some of whom aren't even playing on their collegiate teams indoors. They're focusing strictly on sand.
Yeah, well, there's scholarship opportunities for women's beach volleyball, and you do see a lot of younger volleyball players focusing strictly on beach. Here in Southern California, you see a lot of beach club programs that are developing, being run by former professional beach volleyball players, Olympians such as Jake Gibb has his own beach volleyball club now here in Huntington Beach, Orange County, and up and down the coast and also in other parts of the country. So it's a great growth opportunity and really exciting to see for the growth of the sport in the United States.
And obviously for somebody like you, after playing 4 years at Long Beach State, it was a natural transition there from the indoor game to the beach game, and you just had more and more success as your time on the sand came along, and that was just buried her from the back row with a bic.
Now, beach volleyball is a great sport. It's one of the most popular ones around the world, as we see pretty much every 4 years in the Olympics when when fans are allowed into the stands. Missed having all those fans in Tokyo 2021, but looking forward to it in Paris. And the World Championships are this summer in Rome, so should be exciting times. Hopefully, the United States can put up some good players in those events.
Ryan Kenny, Tom Burrell getting another block for Freedom. It'll be very interesting in 2028 when the Olympics come out this way.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. First time since 1984. My mom performed in the opening ceremonies at that Olympics, actually.
Really?
Yeah, so fun little tidbit of information there for the trivia.
What was the performance?
She was in the opening ceremonies as one of the jazzercise dancers back in the day.
Wow. Little history lesson here. 1984. I remember it a little bit. I was 7, as that is put away by Ian Cap, but don't really have much of a vivid memory other than Carl Lewis.
I was 6 at the time, and opening ceremonies with the LA Coliseum down in downtown LA. I think this year they'll be at the new LA Rams Stadium.
SoFi Stadium. It's on the list. Haven't been there yet. I've driven by it. Beautiful stadium. That is, speaking of beautiful, a dive there by Higashi to try to save it, but his Sasquatch teammates unable to catch up with it. And Freedom, as we reminisce about Olympics past, they are on their way to a 3-0 sweep if this holds up. It's 9-5 here in Game 3.
I just don't see any answers Sasquatch can put out there to slow down Team Freedom, New Jersey Freedom, although McCracken getting a nice kill there out of the back row. Just too many weapons. The block and defense of New Jersey just too strong. And for the Sasquatch, just really having a hard time getting out of second gear. Haven't really found that rhythm that they had yesterday morning. Now just all New Jersey Freedom so far.
And a useful spot by Ryan Kenny. A trouble pass. He's able to tip it right onto the line, and Seattle cannot cover.
Yeah, good vision and court awareness of the setter there. Ryan Kenny going with a one-handed tip deep to the corner that time.
So here's Kenny to serve. And somehow Lou got to it. Jackson had given up on the play, thought it was over, but Team Freedom unable to do anything with it. Substitution here for the Sasquatch. They'll bring in Justin Momo at outside. He's out of Seattle, Washington, wearing number 3. He will serve. Lou comes over to take charge. Here's Joe Norman, and he gets blocked back, but another chance. Norman with the set, and down the line, Ian Cap.
Joe Norman showing off that he can hand set. Not something we usually see from Big Joe.
Here's Cap to serve. And Cap puts a dent in the floor. Cap looking for more. And narrowly missing. Good job by Silva pulling his hands back, not touching that one.
Well, our line judge almost got that one off the chin.
Well, that's Rena Smith. I mean, she's tough. She's battle tested. She's not fazed by Ian Cap's 200 mile per hour serve. Kenny runs this one down. Fair down the line, and this one will fall out of play for a kill. And Freedom leading 13-8. They'll make a substitution, and we will see the New Jersey Freedom debut for Paul Bolonzik, 7-footer out of Tinley Park, Illinois. Reach out and stuff someone. Norman one-on-one puts down Peter Silva's attack. Peterson Silva tried to test the big guy, and you look at the front row right now for New Jersey at 6'10" in Norman and 7-foot Bolonzik. That is the Great Wall of New Jersey. Kenny with the dig. Bolonzik gets a touch, and they'll send it over. They go back to Silva. And New Jersey was into the net, so Silva gets the kill.
Well, right now for New Jersey Freedom, it is definitely one of the biggest block and defense front lines we'll see.
Here's Norman swinging away, and he gets the kill for a 14-9 New Jersey lead. So here's Norman. And that clipped off the tape. So aside it goes back to the Sasquatch. Still down and trying to find any way to get some momentum going because they've been almost absent in this one. It's just interesting to me how they came out yesterday and nearly took the defending champions to 5, and today they've just come out flat.
Yeah, a little hangover maybe from Sasquatch as that sort of finds the net. Really just no rhythm whatsoever from the Seattle team so far.
And that takes us to our technical timeout here in Game 3. New Jersey up 2-0. 16-10 here in Game 3. Back for more in just a bit. Back here courtside in San Bernardino, Ira Thor joined alongside Matt Prosser. Let's send it to the third member of our crew, Noah Chast.
Thanks, guys. And I was over on the Sasquatch bench, and I mean, you said it. They're very flat and very low energy right now. They were telling each other that we have to keep talking through every point and stay loud. And another point was they still have time to come back. They just need to be aggressive, and those blockers on the Freedom side is making that difficult as they get a stuff right there. And they just have to keep trying to swing through, even though it doesn't seem to be working so far. We'll see how they adjust. Matt, Ira?
It's hard to get it past the arms of somebody who doesn't even have to jump to be 2 feet over the net, and makes Ryan Kenny, who was blocking with him, his job much easier when you're blocking alongside a 7-footer.
The Great Wall of New Jersey is in full effect this morning here in San Bernardino.
That is a marketing opportunity for the Freedom, so you're welcome. I better get some royalties for that one.
Well, that's one of your roles, if you didn't know, is VP of Marketing.
Am I? I didn't realize I took on extra responsibility. I usually just fly in, get a car, come talk, drive back to the airport, and fly home and just rinse and repeat. Tonight I'm going to watch some USC fights, though. When we're done tonight, it's a huge card. I think it's UFC 273. Looking forward to that one. And that's put away by Colton Bailey. Have not said his name very much today. The 6'8"er.
That's his first kill of the match, his first point out of the front row. Coming in set number 3 at 18-11. It's a little bit late to get Bailey activated. Got to get him going earlier on.
Yeah, he's only had 3 attempts all match, and they get Buffum going again. Matt Buffum picks up yet another kill, his 3rd in 6 swings. Hasn't been a huge statistical match compared to some of the others we'll see, because there's just been a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, it's common in the first match of the day. Guys are still sort of waking up, although the New Jersey side, really, if they're still in East Coast time, they should be, fresh. It's,
That's
lunchtime
fair.
out there.
That's fair. It would be 1 o'clock on the East Coast right now. Kenny with the back set to Cap, who gets the kill. So Ian Cap, who's been collecting aces like I collect, visits some Major League Baseball parks. And that is left short. Silva tried to give his right side a chance of swing running that one down, but Cody McCracken couldn't work with it. And the lead for the Freedom is now 8-21-13. I make the baseball park a reference because Thursday when I came into town, I saw opening day in Anaheim, the Angels against the Astros. That was my 23rd park out of 30. I like to do that when I travel around the country. And McCracken gets the kill here. Kenny laid out, but just couldn't get enough to extend the play.
7 stadiums away.
7 left. I have taken care of all of California. I got Arizona, Seattle, Houston left, and then 4 of them in the Midwest. And that's it. And there's a big block for Seattle. First time they've been able to get excited there is Colin McCracken put it down.
And Ira, just so the folks at home know, what's number 1 on the list right now, ranking-wise? Just number 1. What's the best park you've been to? We'll save that answer for another time. Matt Buffum here with a good jump float serve now. Freedom only 3 points away from taking this match in a sweep. Here comes Silva on the left. Oh, Joe Norman shutting him down. Sorry, we lost Ira for a second. Some technical difficulties with his audio equipment, but Joe Norman, a solo block that time. Team Freedom now just 2 points away. Buffum again serving. The jump float that's worked nicely. The back row this time. And
Jackson able to get himself involved.
there he is. He's back. He's back. We may be getting a challenge call here from Coach Beaumont on the back row attack. Looking for possibly a 10-foot line violation.
And New Jersey hasn't had a chance to use its challenges yet this season. Obviously, this is a newly implemented system, so a chance. And what the heck, you can't take them home with you. So Justin Beaumont coaching Freedom today. I'm going to take a look at this one. Apologize for my technical issues when we were being asked about best park I've been to. I was about to say
Your mic just went dead.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
crazy
what
how
happened.
that happened. I was about to say San Francisco. 2 best parks I've seen are both here in California, San Francisco and San Diego. Contrary to our director, who asked if the best park I'd been to was Jurassic.
Well, unfortunately, they're not playing a lot of baseball in Jurassic Park, Iris, so really having a hard time with this one.
Fun we have on Saturday mornings here in the Inland Empire. Where else would you rather be? Well, not too often you hear me laugh so hard I cry on TV here, but man, oh man, it was a well-timed
You are
comment.
tearing up. You are tearing up, so.
And Seattle gets the point. The challenge was upheld, and Justin Beaumont not pleased with the fact he did not win a challenge. So competitive.
And I just heard from our down ref that was the worst challenge he's ever seen. So keep that in mind.
The sun keeps shining here in San Bernardino, and the Freedom now leading 24-16 at match point. Well, Freedom may not have good challenges, but they do have a chance to win in 3, and it would be our first sweep of our opening weekend. Here's Joe Norman to try to close this out. Off the tape, falls in, off the tape monster for the ace, and the New Jersey Freedom, no laughing matter at all. They sweep Seattle in 3 and do so in convincing fashion this morning. 25-20, 25-19, and 25-16. Really strong debut for this Freedom squad, and it's interesting too that we had so much comedy at the end of this match because they're a very just lighthearted group. They don't take a lot seriously. They really kind of take the personality of their ownership, Justin Beaumont, their coach Carlo Edra, but there's a talented group. You know, we saw them last year in a different form really be a team that you thought was going to contend for a title. Didn't work out that way at the end of the year, but now that they've absorbed players from other teams and kind of brought in some additional help, I think they're a threat.
Oh, a very good statement victory for New Jersey Freedom. Getting that 3-game sweep victory keeps them fresh. They can kind of hang out, enjoy the day here in the weather, get some good therapy, watch some video, maybe catch up on some old movies with some dinosaurs in it.
All right, guys, I'm joined by Ian Cappy. He's our MVP of the match. Ian, you had 10 kills, 2 aces. We're kind of leaned on a lot throughout that match, a little bit shorthanded. How are you guys able to pull that out?
Our main thing was making sure we took care of business between the lines, serve pass game, made sure we tried to give our setters the best chance to set up the hitters, and Ryan Kenny did a great job feeding us, made sure that we all had the best chance to get kills, and obviously it showed as we won the match in 3 sets.
Started a little bit slow. Why were you guys able to kind of turn it around late in that first set?
I think mainly because most of our guys got here pretty late last night from the plane, just trying to find our land legs again. Once we found them, I think we were feeling pretty good. Fly.
Gotcha. We'll look forward to seeing you the rest of the weekend. Awesome. Good game. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Noah. And Ian really should have been the man of the match because of his ability to just change a game with his serve. Obviously, we know about the offensive outcome of him moving over from the center role to the outside, but his ability to just absolutely put teams back on their heels and take them out of system is going to be such a weapon for this New Jersey team.
Absolutely right. Obviously that, and also with Joe Norman and Paul Bolonzik, we saw the Great Wall of New Jersey, as you so appropriately have named them. Their block and defense really put all the pressure on Seattle, and a nice victory for the Freedom.
First sweep of the weekend, a great performance by New Jersey. Seattle's debut here in the NVA ends with 2 losses. A good effort yesterday. Oh, hey, we look at stats too live in the air. Isn't that great? But Seattle yesterday took the OC Stunners to the brink today, though not as much luck as New Jersey comes in with a convincing 25-20, 25-19, 25-16 victory. Only hitting 35% today with Seattle, as Sam Cole finished with 7 kills to lead the way. Ian Cap. We talked about Ryan Kenny as well. He did a really nice job of settling down the offense and being that leader they needed out on the court. And then Ian Cap, 62% hitting rate today, had 10 kills and 4 aces, and just continues to be a leader in his start here in New Jersey. That'll do it here in our first broadcast of the morning, as New Jersey is able to beat Seattle 3-0. And don't forget to join us. The rest of our lineup for this morning. Noon match will be the Dallas Tornadoes and the other new franchise that has been added to the league this year. That's the Colorado Kraken, who went to 5 yesterday before falling in their debut. I'll be back with you at 3 o'clock after I get myself together, and it'll be the Chicago Untouchables against the LA Blaze, and then we'll close our day out with the Inland Empire Matadors and the Southern Exposure. For Noah Chast and Matt Prosser, I'm Ira Thor. Stay cracking. We'll see you at 12 for more NVA volleyball.